Hello, everyone, and good morning. If you're watching this as I'm recording it somehow, but given my linear understanding of time, that's likely impossible. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I got the day off work, so I'm vibing. We got some YuGiOh to watch. This is top 4. By the way, how can I... Right here. It's our boy Sam. It was requested that that little image be in the video for a moment by his significant other. So there we are. We made the channel. Oh man, we got Dylan on the left. We got Nick on the right. Dylan's playing Mitsurugi. Nick's playing Dracotail. We both have already seen these guys on stream. We know what they're capable of. Both very, very talented duelists, and it looks like Nick has earned the right to start things off. First action, Rahu Dracotail using Mululu from hand. And let's see what we decide to use from deck. Urgala. Great choice. First, going for Gulamel, not the Arthalion. We're going to set Flame. And we're going to set Ketu. And then we're going to activate Ketu. That's going to add a Lucius. We're going to normal that Lucius. Use that Bad Jackson's effect to add 5 mana. Let's go ahead and use that 5 mana effect to perform a fusion summon. We're going to fuse away the Lucius and the Fua into the Arthalion. Lucius will be able to set a card. Arthalion's going to bounce the Mululu back to hand. Setting Sting, and then of course Urgala can put the 5 mana back in hand as well. Alright, so we've got Sting and we've got Flame, we've got Gulamel, we've got Arthalion. I see an Ash Blossom in hand. We got 5 mana. Dylan draws into 6 cards. Let's see what kind of games are meant to be played. We're going to go first action. Marshmallow Yummy. Effect. Summon itself. Summon's good here. Linked off into Snatchy. Snatchy hits the field. Its effect to place a field spell is activated and resolved. Hard to tell with the glare, but I do think that is Mignon. Special summon Cupsy effect to add. We're good to go here. Added is Surprise. It looks like we're going to go ahead and Synchro Summon into Cupsy, which is going to try to add 2. We discard 1, but that's going to be met with Ash. Do we just tag out right away? Indeed we do. This could be a chance to use the Sting, and we will use Sting to get rid of one of those monsters. And it looks like... Okay, so it seemed like we were targeting Snatchy with Sting, and then Gulamel is going to pop the field spell. Yep, so Snatchy is banished. We're going to put a Dracotail card back on the deck and then draw a card. Cupsy and Marshmallow are summoned off of the effect of Cupsy Yummy Way, and then Marshmallow is able to add a spell, so we do go ahead and grab that field spell right back. that may have made that may makes it may make it seem like popping the field spell was redundant, but that's actually a bigger deal than you think, because it means now Marshmallow is not recycling Surprise. We are going to go ahead and perform another Synchro Summon, and it looks like that's Lollipo. Yep, summoning from Grave. And now we're going to go into likely a Synchro 4 right into Herald. So this needs to be handled. Otherwise, we are completely boned. Oh, and we also have a Forbidden Droplet to work with, so even if our Thalion comes on to the field to try to perform a bounce, we can just negate it. Dylan is in a very strong position here. We do normal summon the Lollipo, shuffling back the Lucius from Grave into the deck. Now, I saw Mitsurugi Ritual in hand, but I don't know that I saw any other Mitsurugi cards, so it might not be possible for us to access that side of the engine without bridging into it through Herald. But we honestly probably value the Floodgate effect of Herald more. Surprise is activated. That is seemed to be able to resolve. Flame not chained. And it looks like we're thinking about that Lollipo Yummy way. That would give us access to a Synchro 3 if we decide to go that route. Alright, after the summon, we're going to go ahead and activate the field spell once again. We'll link off into Snatchy. And we use Field Spell to revive Marshmallow. No response here. Now we attempt Nibiru. This is sick. We are just going to negate it with the Herald, which does destroy it, by the way. It should be, yeah. Okay, they clarified that. But now that that Floodgate effect is gone, we do have the ability to use Phimena with impunity. But now we have access to our Mitsurugi engine. God, our hand was so strong. Habakiri is activated. Summon and tribute Saji. Saji search prayers, because we already had Ritual in hand. And we'll go ahead and activate Ritual. Attempt Flame, and this can be met with that Droplet. It didn't really matter what we negated there. It was honestly just to dodge the flame. Fortunately, this does mean now that when the second Arthalion comes down, we will be able to successfully bounce if we decide that's how we want to play this. But if I'm being honest, I don't really see that being enough. We have so much extension between prayers, and now we also have Mirror in the hand, plus a plethora of yummy monsters. Looks like we attempted to leave main. We attempt Phimena, and we only have 2 monsters in hand, so forcing the Murakumo discard obviously means Phimena won't resolve regardless. And we're able to take it in game 1. I kind of alluded to this in one of the earlier videos. Dracotail is a very powerful deck, but it's also not hard to deal with in the sense of if you have the right non-engine, you can do it, but also if your hand is just like a heavy engine hand with a bunch of pushes, that'll do it too. It doesn't put up like so many points of interaction that no extender can do the trick. It focuses instead on putting up a small number of very powerful interactions. So if you have like medium impact pushes that can force those responses, you can then still win the game with your high impact pushes once those small number of interactions have been worked through. So I really feel like that was a strong showcase there of how a strong engine hand can beat the Dracotail end board, which that is something that you might not have said about like Malice or Fiendsmith Ryziel, where if your hand was 6 engine cards, you probably were not winning. Obviously, when it comes to siding, you know, I've said it before, both players definitely had their opposing matchup on the radar. These are the 2 decks of the room. I think they're pretty clear outliers in terms of power level. So, I mean, you know Dylan brought in something like Retaliating Sea. And on the side of Nick, I wonder if we're going to see that Quakimeru once again that we saw from Chris in the top 8. Or it could be something like, you know, now that D-Barrier is banned, do you have other targeted hate? You know, there's some niche cards, excuse me, there's some niche cards you could play like Power Filter or Ally of Justice Cataster, but I doubt it's anything quite that niche. But hey, you never know, man. Sometimes those funny techs are what it takes to actually win an event, right? Alright, I do see Ghost Bell. That is a very powerful piece of technology in this matchup. It hits both sides of the engine very strong. Another good thing would have been like some Bistials. Those are obviously very strong targeted hate in this matchup. Less niche than the Power Filter. Alright, I do see a fusion spell. I see Malulu, I see Phimena, and I think that last one might be Frixel. I'm just guessing off of the greenish hue I see in the corner of the card. Let's see how we decide to play things out here. We are going to go Rahu first action, so we're not trying to access any link plays here. Just going to go right into some fusion plays. Once again, using Malulu. And when I say go right into fusion plays, I mean we're now locked into fusion summoning. Using Malulu and Urgula from deck. Let's see if we switch it up this time and go right for Arthalion. But no, it looks like we're doing Gulamel once again. Very nervous to commit to that monster. Looks like we're thinking of something else. We do go for the Arthalion this time. And we decide to also use the Phimena from hand. So it's going to be 2 from hand, 1 from deck. So Arthalion can put back 2 of those monsters. Plus we're going to be able to set 3 Dracotail spell traps because we used to be material. So it looks like we're putting back Malulu and Phimena. And then all 3 are going to set cards. So we might be going in for all 3 traps here, or we might be trying to get access to a Ketu. We do want the Ketu. Okay, so Ketu plus 2 traps. Once again, going for Sting and Flame. We're going to go ahead and activate that Ketu, add Lucius, normal Lucius. Probably go for like a Pan here, if I had to hazard a guess. Indeed, very powerful interaction. Phimena effect to perform a fusion summon now. It's going to be Lucius plus Pan into our Gulamel. Both of those will be able to set a card if they so desire, so likely getting access to the third trap here. And nope, just one of them, so we're not choosing to set any follow-up off of the Lucius. Urgula is going to bottom deck itself to put the 5 mana back. And seems to be it. So we don't end the turn with Pan in the hand, but we do have Mululu. First action on the side of Dylan here is pre-preparation of rights, which is met with that Ghost Bell. We have another pre-prep. Ghost Bell does negate the activation. So since you're only allowed to activate one pre-prep per turn, if the activation of the first one's negated, you never activated it, you're good to go. We go ahead and add Habakiri and Mirror, and then we meet, or we decide to go the once per duel effect of Habakiri, reveal in hand to special summon from deck, and then tribute a monster we control. Of course, special and then tribute Saji. Adding Ritual. Go ahead and activate Ritual here. We could Flame. Does seem to be the choice we make. Do we have Droplet this time from Dylan? We have something. Ghost Bell. Okay. A Ghost Bell of our own. That is fine. Flame is negated, and Ritual is going to resolve, tributing the Habakiri. Summoning Murakumo, and then on summon, of course, Murakumo is going to try to blow up the board, and then Habakiri is going to search and add. Or search and not summon itself, because it, of course, was not properly summoned. Going to add Prayers. Okay, Pan's going to trigger in the grave here because a fusion monster was blown up. So we could potentially add or summon Lucius. And then, of course, Lucius on summon will be able to add any Dracotail from deck to hand, giving Phimena even more gas. Alright, so Pan goes to the bottom of the deck. We summon Lucius and attempt Lucius effect to add. Considering the addition here, could be Urgula, could be Pan. It looks like we are having a little trouble deciding. But we do decide to go with the Pan. Hey, Mira. Hey, Matt. See ya. Have a good one. Alright, sorry about that. Mirror is activated to special or ritual summon from the grave. Or I must have missed something. It looks like maybe, because we're attempting Sting here. Okay, no, we're probably attempting Sting targeting Ritual and Habakiri. I'm just not so sure why Mitsurugi Mirror was put off to the side there like it was banished. Alright, so we do Chain Prayers. Alright, so we don't have a response. So Prayers is going to add a Habakiri. Habakiri and Ritual are still banished. And because we have the Resolve Mirror, we do tribute the Murakumo to summon the Habakiri from hand, and then Murakumo was going to try to add and then summon itself, but we're attempting Bestial Baldrake in response. Get that boy out of here. There we go. We do still get the search, but of course it's not going to hit the field. Just adding another copy of Prayers. I don't think we've normal summoned, and we still have access to the Lolly, plus Forbidden Droplet, and a Called by the Grave, so that Fimena's not even going to resolve. This is nasty, man. This is like straight up nasty. Normal summon Lollipo. Lollipo shuffles back the Gulamel. Now we're going to attempt Fimena here to perform a fusion. We're going to chain Call by the Grave. And then we're going to chain Horn. Target the Baldrake. Putting back the Fimena to dodge the Called by the Grave. So now we can fuse away the Malulu in the Pan. Summon Gulamel. Now we have some chain links here. We have Gulamel to pop in, or I'm sorry, Pan to pop and set, Malulu to negate and set, plus Arthalion could decide to come back. And that dodging of Called by the Grave was all we needed to see. Dylan decides not enough push. We're going to go ahead and go to game 3. Excellent maneuver there, using the ability of Dracotail Horn to put a Dracotail card from the grave back into the deck to dodge the targeted banishment and negation of Called by the Grave. And I do believe we targeted our Baldrake instead of the opposing Lollipo, specifically to play around Forbidden Droplet, which would dodge it. Because if Horn doesn't bounce a monster, then it doesn't get to put back. So if Lollipo left the field for any reason, then Horn would not dodge the Called by the Grave for Fimena. But because we targeted our own monster, we know nothing like a Forbidden Droplet can sack it for cost to dodge the targeted bounce. Very, very strong play there. That was nice, man. I liked that a lot. All right, game 3. It's on and it's popping. Remember, folks, this is the semifinals, so whoever wins this is going to the finals. Marshmallow Yummy. Summoned. Make Snatchy. Snatchy plays Field Spell. We've seen it 100 times, right? Y'all know what's going on now. We place Mignon. Mignon targets the Marshmallow. And Magnamut banishes the Marshmallow. We have a cookie to extend, though. Into Cupsy. Cupsy tries to add 2, discard 1. This is fine. Adding Cupsy and Lollipo. Let's see what we decide to discard here. Keep in mind we have yet to normal. discarding the Lollipop. Okay. Special summon Cupsy. Cupsy can go ahead and search. And we do search that Yummy Surprise. Looks like we're thinking about a Link 2 or a Synchro 3 play here. Decide against it. Pre-preparation of rights. Do we have Ghost Bell? And if we do, and we decide to use it there instead of the Cupsy tag out. We're going to go ahead and tag out anyway. So, cutting off access to the Mitsurugi engine. Cookie on summon is going to be able to pop the Magnamut there. Looks like we just synchro right back into Cupsy. Summon's fine. Are we going for Sorrow Cat now? Yes, indeed. Okay. Normal summon Marshmallow. So that's going to get us into our Synchro 4, Herald. Herald can then be linked off into Gravity Controller because it was in the EMZ. And then Herald Engrave can search. This is typically how we get access to our Habakiri, which indeed seems to be the case. Just taking a read there to make sure we understand exactly how Herald interacts. Habakiri is added. Habakiri effect is activated to summon and then tribute Saji. Saji then, of course, can add a ritual or a Mitsurugi spell. And it looks like we decided to add the Mitsurugi ritual. We don't have any points of interaction, so we are going to go ahead and summon from deck, tributing the Habakiri from hand. Going right into that Murakumo, and then, of course, Habakiri can add any Mitsurugi card because it was tributed. Going to add that mirror. Surprise is activated. Going to go ahead and revive Marshmallow, and then Marshmallow on summon's going to add that spell right back from grave to hand. Now we can synchro the Gravity Controller and the Yummy into, looks like, Lollipop Yummy. Reviving Marshmallow once again and Cupsy. And here we're going to attempt Juice Worm on the Herald, probably, because Sorrow Cat, or is Sorrow Cat dark? Chain Murakumo, discarding Lupus. That's a strong discard because it's obviously live from grave anyways. Okay, no, Sorrow Cat itself is a dark. But we were targeting the Herald anyway. Okay, I don't know. Doesn't matter, either way. Down to just one card in hand. Dylan has 5 cards on the field and 3 in his hand. And Nick really needs a strong top deck here if he's going to play, because typically fusion decks don't play off of just one card. I mean, cutting off access to the Herald was nice. We're going to go ahead and use Mirror here. Tribute Habakiri to, or I'm sorry, Tribute Murakumo to summon Habakiri. Murakumo is going to summon itself and search a Mitsurugi card. Grabbing Great Purification. So no matter what we top deck, it can just be negated. Gonna go ahead and link away the Habakiri and the Cupsy. Or nah. Magnamut, however, in the end phase is going to resolve to add a dragon. So that could potentially keep us in this. Dylan unsure how he wants to finish this turn out, carefully considering his options. He knows Nick is no chump, and even though he's going to be on, you know, very few cards, that might be all he needs. IP Masquerena is summoned. Looks like 2 put in the back row there. Prayers and Great Purification. Nick is considering a few options here. We could Lupus for Typhon right off the rip. And that's going to trigger a tag out. Summoning a Snatchy. And a Marshmallow. Lupus hits the field. In open game state, we're linking off the IP and the Habakiri into SP. SP is going to try and banish the Lupus. It looks like we just let that happen instead of chaining the Lupus to perform an Xyz summon. God, we have that Ash Blossom to back all this up, too. I really want him to impress me. I really want him to show why he's crazy, but I just don't see Nick crawling out of this with a Druid Worm on the field, 2 cards plus the Mag Search. I mean, he's got the Yummy Engine to contend with. He's got SP to contend with. He's got Murakumo to contend with. Prayers, Great Purification, and an Ash Blossom in the hand. Alright, we're going to end phase, and we're going to resolve Magnemite. I am curious why we did not chain the Lupus to the SP. Well, I guess actually it doesn't matter, right? Because then Dylan just chains SP, banishes itself and the Lupus, and then Lupus is banished forever anyway. So it made no difference. Alright, so we add to hand Baldrake. God, look at all these resources in grave. Man's doing a deck profile out of his graveyard. We are attempting the Baldrake targeting Cupsy way. This seems to be fine. And we're going to go ahead and offer cut. And draw for turn. What do we got? We're going to put the Druid from an attack position. Might be considering going straight to battle phase to deal with a few things in battle. Looks like a Ketu and a Lucius. Yeah, this doesn't do it, man, because either of those is dealt with by the Ash. The other one's dealt with by Great Purification. Okay, we're linking off the Druid Worm and the Baldrake. This could be a Hieratic. But it is not. Maybe it is. It's an SP. So we're going to go Jewish from effect, target the Murakumo. We're going to chain the Murakumo. We're going to chain SP, target itself, and probably... I'm guessing Nick chained SP targeting itself and Murakumo, and then Dylan chained SP targeting both SP Little Knights. Okay, so we did not discard a card, so Druid Worm does not resolve, Murakumo is not sent. But now we have 2 cards in. It's Ash and it's Great Purification. We're going to normal summon Lucius. We're going to Great Purification. It's over. This is it. This is it. When we have Ash for the... It's over. Yeah, man, that was just too much. No crawling out of that one, even despite the, you know, the Bestials and the Ghost Bell. It just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. F in the chat for Nick. It was a hard-fought battle. Great match. Great match. I knew it would be. This is... I mean, these are 2 heavyweights going at it, man. This is exactly what you want to see at your locals. Phenomenal gameplay on both sides. Really, I have nothing but kind words to say about both these players. I greatly appreciate them playing on feature for me several times, so I have this amazing content to show you guys and cast over. I really hope you guys enjoyed this match. We do have the finals coming at you live and direct. Well, pre-recorded and direct very shortly. Can't wait to see you there. Peace.